Welcome to Live with Nine another Movement Moment Day. We love coming to you live every week at this time with my mom, Nine, Barbara Postman. And she has a movement called Movement Moments. I guess that's the best way to say it. Initiative, but it's super helpful for people, everybody of all ages on the go. We're all busy. But Mom, tell us a little bit about Movement Moments and what it is and how it started.
Okay, so, I've always been interested in movement. I did yoga, I taught for a while, I studied all kinds of movement areas, a way to use your body. And I became really interested in the idea of a natural movement space where people talk about doing the things that the way our body is designed to do them, and do them during the day rather than just at this period of time that you set out as your quote workout. Because we're sedentary all the rest of the day. So I had some issues, as we all do. And as I got older, they got bigger. And so I went to physical therapy. I did all sorts of things, but I came upon a strategy that's really working for me. And I'm excited to tell other people about it. And it has to do with paying attention to the movements that you're doing all day and fitting in these little moments that make a huge, huge difference. So I have two things to talk about today. Last week we talked about lower back and hips, and I want to continue that. And the first thing isn't exactly a movement moment in that you have to take time out to do this, but you can do it when you're going to bed or, at a time when you're watching TV or something like that. So in that sense, you can fit it in. And my husband and I have been working hard in the last couple of weeks to do this major clean out, declutter, and getting ready to move things around in a big way. And this includes, 50 years of stored stuff, lots of which has. So I've been doing a lot of carrying and lifting and books and, up the stairs, down the stairs. And, I'm in pretty good shape and I do it right and I bend the right way and everything. But enough is enough. I'm 77 and I started to feel, my back was definitely talking to me. And I said, okay, Mrs. Movement Moments, you better do something about this or I won't be able to hold my head up when I'm on live next week. I'm not taking ibuprofen. I got to fix it. So this is called Yoga Tune-Up Gorgeous Ball. I've talked about Yoga Tune-Up before. It's just one of many manufacturers or people who sell these kind of things, but you can use any rubber ball that you buy in a dollar store or something like that, as long as it's strong enough. And the trick is that you don't want to inflate it too hard. You can see this is pretty soft. Okay.
And so, how big is it roughly? It looks pretty big.
It's about the size of a kid's, little kid's basketball or beach ball, a small, how else can if I stand back further, you'll probably be able to see
it's about the size of your head.
Smaller.
Yeah, a bit smaller.
It's smaller. Yeah. It's quite a bit smaller than my head, if you see that.
Hey, Maxine, I see she's jumping on.
I don't know. I'm not good at circumference and adjusting, but it's probably 5 inches in diameter or something like that. Anyway, actually the size isn't critical. It could be a little bigger or a little smaller. Okay. It's much more important that it be soft.
Okay.
But not so soft that you don't have anything to lie on. And so you get what you're trying to do. What I realized is, I knew this, I read about this and I took a class on this and everything else, but this was like I really understood it this time. And that's why I'm excited to talk about it, because when something hurts you, there's a lot of things going on and a lot of places have tension. And even if you don't find the place that exactly the spot where the tension is being caused, by doing this kind of self-massage and self-care, you can get the things that are not relaxed. And what's really happening when you hurt like that is your muscles are tensing up, they're going into spasm. You have sore spots, and you might not find the exact sore spot, and you might not find the quote source of the problem, but it'll make a huge difference. So basically, this is really easy. And there's no right way. This is your own body, and all you do is you find a spot, like right here, to the side of my back was hurting, or it's not really hurting, but sort of tired in the entire low back area. So I did it on both sides. So you basically find just some spot that feels comfortable, and you lean over it, and you prop your head up on something. I'm using a yoga block. You can use anything. Can you see me okay?
Yep.
Okay, now and then your next job, put your knees up like this, any way that's comfortable. That's the trick. You want to make yourself comfortable, and then you have to focus on your breath and just letting go. And that's the whole secret. So I'm not going to be able to let go and talk at the same time. And I'm not going to stay that long, but I can tell you that if you give yourself a few minutes, don't tell everyone not to bother you, turn off your phone and everything else. Take some very deep breaths and try not to breathe up here, but down low, very slow breaths. Count at least to 5 or 3 to 5 on the way up, and at least the same on the way down, if not more, on the way exhaling on the way down. And you take these deep breaths and you talk to your body and you say, okay, let it go, Just close your eyes, think about just think about relaxing. You don't even have to think of that one particular spot, but just relax over the ball. And it really is magic. It's amazing. And then on one side, spend at least a minute. The longer you spend, the better, but at least a minute. And you'll find, actually, you'll know when you've done it enough, because you actually will feel yourself release. If you listen, and you pay attention to your body and you relax and you breathe deeply, assuming you don't fall asleep, you'll know that you can try the other side of it. You just flip over and you do it on the other side. And and you can do it more than one spot, depending on how much time you want to spend. You can do it a bunch of spots, but do it at least one on each side. And then don't worry about, just make sure that you're propping yourself up. Like if you want to do it here, make sure that you prop up your head so there's no strain. So you're not straining anything. You're just sitting here and you're letting yourself relax around this soft ball. And so your tissues can just give way. They're supported. And they're also, you're relaxing the things because whenever anything hurts us, we immediately start tensing up, not just there, but everywhere, all over our body. And so that's why you can do it on your feet and it'll actually help your lower back. You can do it anywhere, but you can start with your lower back. We've talked about the foot massage before, and you can also do foot massage if you have the time. This is why sitting in a hot bath is so useful. I have a very small bathtub, and to me, I don't enjoy sitting in our little bathtub, no matter how it's supposed to be good for you. If I had a jacuzzi, it'd be different, but I don't. So that's my little prescription for letting go of all that tension in your lower back. And another one, which you can fit in when you're on the phone or when you're doing something else, which I've shown you before, is you take a chair.
Well, we're kind of losing you for a minute here.
Yeah, I had to go get the chair. I meant to have it ready and I didn't. You basically find something that you can put your hands on. I don't have a regular sized chair in this room, but a chair that you can basically get yourself at approximately 90 degrees. It doesn't have to be exact. And what you're doing is you want to back your hips up behind your heels. So get yourself comfortable and hold yourself up with your hands, but make sure you're in a comfortable position for all the rest of your body, and just swing back and forth like this. A good, 30 seconds to a minute. This really feels great. And can you see this okay?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Definitely. Basically, you're easing the tension in your hips. And it's something that after you finish, you walk around and you go, oh my God, that feels pretty good. So that is.
They're pretty simple.
They're very simple. I mean, all these things. And the whole thing with the ball, I want to talk about a little bit more, because remember I showed you a smaller ball, which you could use a tennis ball or a small pinky ball or something like that. It's better to be soft. You'll see references online to using a lacrosse ball and finding the really hard spots and dense spots and rubbing them. And, it's not as good. It's softer is really better because your muscles relax around it. And so the epiphany, the realization that I had this time was that you don't have to there's no perfect place. There's no only way for you to use these balls. What's really important is that you just find something that's comfortable for you and you let go and you breathe and you let yourself relax around the ball. And if you're not at the quote exact spot you're supposed to be, it doesn't matter. You're going to be releasing your whole body, as we've said so many times, is connected everywhere. And so if you're releasing in that one spot, my back, we were carrying old asphalt shingles up the stairs and just before I got ready for this call. And I'm like, oh my God, I better do something. And even that, I wasn't even breathing deeply, but even that little bit has already made my back feel more comfortable. So I'm so excited about people being able to take care of themselves. And sure, a massage is great. If you can go to them and have a massage, you can, but that, you got to commit the time, you have to spend the money and all that. So this is really
and that's something you can do watching TV, or if you're, instead of sitting in the recliner, you can lay on the floor for a little bit and do that.
Right. But if you're watching TV or doing something else, make sure that you try to spend a little time breathing deeply, count your breaths in and out so they're approximately the same or more on the exhale, and make sure that you're breathing down low rather than, none of this kind of thing, which we tend to do. We get excited or in pain or nervous. So we don't want to do that. We want to relax. And so, if you're watching some exciting TV show or some, horror movie or something, I wouldn't recommend doing it.
Right. Right. No, that's really
something boring, or something.
Right, during the ads.
Yeah, during the ads or something like that. You can find the time if you get creative.
Yeah, for sure. That definitely, I need to do more of that too. But it's so fun to see how simple it is, right?
Yes,
and we tend to overcomplicate things, and we tend to try and make it difficult when it's really not.
Well, the thing that's difficult, or the challenge, is making the commitment to try and figure out a way to fit it in. Because you know how I say every time the microwave dings, do it. I've been trying. Well, you'd be surprised. It's hard to remember to do that and to make that commitment because you're busy, you're stressed, you're, oh, come on, I'm just waiting for it. And you don't think about it. And sometimes you say, oh, I don't feel like that. But just try it and make it into, and the only way, and if you make it a habit and you celebrate every time you do it, you say, hey, I fit it in. That's the thing that you have to work at. That's where the work is. The work isn't doing these movements. The work is being aware of what you're doing, of how you're moving, and fitting in these corrective type movements during your day. And that's the commitment, and that's what takes the work. Because
that's the way life is, right? It's about here. Sure. And it's just about deciding to do it and making it a priority, and then becoming aware and making it a habit. So definitely, as always, super helpful. I want to get out my big ball. I have one of those sort of, it's a Yamuna one, but it's bigger, softer.
Yeah, the Yamuna, make sure it's soft enough because that's got a thicker wall than this one. This one's a thinner one.
Yeah. But you can deflate them some.
Yeah, definitely. That'll work. Absolutely. They're good. Yeah, the Yamuna system is a very good system too.
Yeah. So, well, thank you, everybody. Maxine, I know you're on here. I've seen you on here.
Maxine, every week.
Everybody else who's jumped on. It's so great to see you all on here. Hopefully, for those of you that are starting to get out and do yard work, or if it's calving season for you, or whatever you're doing this spring, or I know some of you watching maybe in different climates where it's a little bit warmer, but people are getting into the garden. This is a big one. I know when you're bending over in the garden. So really go back if you haven't seen these before, if this is the first one of these you're catching, or even if you need a reminder. Sometimes it's just easy to forget. We've been doing this for several months, and it's, many months now, and they add up. So there's a ton of good content. If you look back through Live with Nine-Eye on my page or my mom's page, or my mom has a group, Movement Moments, if you want to be added to that to get them all. She's constantly adding more. Drop a comment here or shoot us a message. We can add you in there, and you can be hooked up with straight to the Movement Moments. You don't have to fight with Facebook to find stuff. So anyway, thank you all so much for jumping on. As always, we'll see you Sunday. And if you have questions, feedback, comments, updates, we'd love to hear it. Share this out with everybody. Yeah, if you know people who need this, if people who have sore backs or hips, tag them, or you can also share this. So we always appreciate seeing everybody on here and all the feedback. So we hope you guys have a great week. We'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.